Here are my top 10 habits for being an absolute beast. A beast in your life, a beast in your business, a beast in the bedroom. And some of these will definitely surprise you because they're not what you think. Hi, I'm Peter Sage and I'm an international best-selling author on human behavior, and I help people identify and implement the right habits that allow them to become the best version of themselves. Now, before we get into what are the top 10 habits that'll turn you into a beast, let's first ask ourselves the question, what is a habit? Let's keep it simple. A habit is simply a behavior that you engage in unconsciously without the front brain or your conscious mind thinking about it. Now that's very useful when it comes to not learning how to walk every day, but if you get unconscious bad habits, that can really take your life on a negative spiral. Which begs the question, why do people form bad habits? Well, here's an insight for you. You see, bad habits will give you instant gratification a lot of the time, like choosing the cheeseburger instead of the salad without any immediate downside, because one hamburger doesn't make you fat. Whereas good habits like going to the gym don't give you any immediate upside. You don't get into a gym and get fit in one session, you get sore. And so it's very easy for people to get suckered into making bad decisions rather than good decisions when it comes to habit. And that leads us into our first habit to become a beast. Beasts learn how to delay instant gratification. Why? Simple. They're playing a longer game. What is your focus? Are you focused on short-term comfort, or do you understand that life is a growth-centric experience, not a comfort-centric experience? The athlete doesn't look for ways to cheat his workout. He looks for ways to win the gold medal by pushing harder in his workout. Learn to delay instant gratification. That alone will change your life. Habit number 2, beasts learn how to make good micro decisions. Forget the big decisions about what you should study at school or who you should marry or all of that stuff. No, beasts make very good micro decisions, and there's only a few times during the day where these micro decisions offer the opportunity to make good or bad choices. Again, should I get up early and go to the gym, or should I press the snooze button? Habit number 3, beasts use their emotions intelligently. They don't allow their emotions to use them. I'll give you 2 examples. Let's take anger. There are categories of anger, don't all lump it into one basket, where it can be appropriate. Sometimes anger is what's required to break you out of apathy with your old life. Sometimes anger is what's required to break a population out of suppression. So anger can be useful, but if you let anger take you over and you're not using it in a directed way, it can be very destructive, which is what gives it a bad rap. Let's take grief. There are times where grief is useful to have a cathartic experience. I wanted to grieve when my parents died, but I didn't get stuck there. I didn't let my emotions trap me. I knew it was a healthy process to go through a period that almost everybody goes through. That's okay. So use your emotions intelligently. Don't allow them to trap you, suppress you, or take you off in a tailspin that you can't control. Habit number 4, develop a morning ritual. Rituals are the key to success. Now, why a morning ritual? Because if you leave it longer than the morning, the world will take over and your priorities will shift. I used to run a business seminar, and I used to start it in the afternoon, a 4-hour seminar, and very few CEOs would show up, even though it was brilliant content. Why? Because they started out at 9 a.m. with the best intentions of showing up, and then all of a sudden the day started to unfold. They were fighting fires, and by lunchtime their priorities had shifted. Now, if you don't have a morning routine, you think, oh, I'll go to the gym after work, oh, I'll go and meditate during my lunch hour. I got news for you. When the day starts and all of the things come out of left field, your priorities are going to shift in real time. So if you don't handle the important stuff first, then it likely isn't going to happen. Nailing down a solid morning routine will give you that firm foundation. It's like drinking a health drink first thing in the morning. As long as you get your nutrition in first as part of your morning ritual, then if you happen to have pizza for lunch because it's all that's available, then at least you've got your foundation in place. Make sense? Habit number 5, if you want to be a real beast, learn to prioritize daily goals. Everybody sets monthly goals, yearly goals, all of that stuff, but the most important goals that you can set are daily goals. Why? Because every single day you are taking 1/365th of a step towards your annual goal. And human nature, for most people that don't know how to operate, really says, oh, I'll leave it until 360 days until I start. Not going to happen. Why do people cram for exams? Because they don't have good daily goals that allow themselves to win. So set daily goals, prioritize daily goals. Don't just get caught up in the vision of where you think you're heading as an end destination. Habit number 6, program yourself every single day. We talked about the power of unconscious habits. Well, we make decisions with the conscious part of our mind 5% of the time, 95% of the time. We're what I call sleeping awake. And when we're sleeping awake, this is what happens. Imagine a compass needle. And you can take that compass needle and physically point it in your mind to any direction. If you're sad, you can cheer yourself up. If you're lethargic, you can choose to go and wake up and stretch. But the 95% of the time you let go of that compass needle, it's going to drift back to its pre-programmed magnetic north. And for many people, that's defaultly programmed in a negative way. So you have to counter that by constantly programming yourself every single day. Why? The law of conformity. The 5% law versus the 95% law, which is why 5% of the world owns the world. They know how to program themselves every single day. I'll give you an example. If you don't like jazz and you're riding with a friend to work for a week and they're playing jazz every single day in the car, within 5 days, you're not only tapping your feet to it, you're humming it in the shower, because we get programmed whether we like it or not. So take charge of that decision, become a beast, and program yourself consciously with good input. Reading is best. Reading is a great way to program yourself. I'm not talking fiction. I'm not talking 50 Shades of Grey. What I'm talking here is how do you constantly program yourself with material that allows you to become a better version of yourself, not distract you from the life you don't want to have. That ties into habit number 7, avoid mainstream media at all costs. Now, I've given 2-hour lectures on this. I'm not going to do that now, but please trust me. The mainstream media's job is not to have your interests at heart. It's not even to report the news. If you think that, you're in Disneyland. See, people say, oh, how do you know what's going on in the world? I'm like, you kidding me? Everything is going on in the world. A far better question to ask is, what do you want to choose to focus on? So you take the Amazon rainforest at night. What's going on? Everything. But you've got a little tiny flashlight called your attention. And you can choose to point it like the media will do by grabbing your hand and saying, oh my God, look at this snake eating a rat. How terrible. Or you can choose to say, wow, look at this hummingbird being born. You see, everything is going on in the world. Do not allow the media to take your attention, hijack it for their own purposes, to be able to induce uncertainty, to hook your attention so they can use you as a statistic to justify rate cards for advertising. Wake up! Yes, successful people and beasts avoid mainstream media. And there's so many more ways to get information right now that serves you rather than doesn't serve you. Habit number 8, prioritize time out. We live in a world where we've been rewarded and conditioned for thinking that if you work, you'll get to a destination where you can not work. Well, how's retirement figuring out for everybody so far? I'll tell you. The average statistic shows that most people die within 18 months of retirement. How's that for a price to go with your gold watch? No, beasts understand there is a massive difference between a life chasing success and a life engineering fulfillment. And if you don't understand the difference between those two, you are going to run on a hamster wheel to mediocrity and nowhere that'll end with an early heart attack. And one of the best ways to do that is to spend time connecting to nature. Nature doesn't get stressed, it just is. And when you stand in nature without your push notifications, without your email chimes, without everybody else's agenda pressing on you like an unanswered doorbell, then you get to de-stress and relax, and you allow your heart rhythm and your brain rhythm to get what we call in phase, engineer a state called coherence, and boom, your autonomic nervous system now takes over and keeps you calm, keeps you grounded, keeps you more healthy, and keeps you on track. If you don't take time out for nature, none of that happens, and it's like running a car on sport mode in the red line. At some point, something's going to break. Habit number 9, gratitude. You hear a lot about gratitude, but the fact is gratitude and unconditional love are two very similar frequencies, different to most of the emotions. And if you can connect to gratitude, it will completely transform most people's stress levels. If you want to be a beast, gratitude takes you from focusing on what you don't have to being grateful for what you do have. And if you understand what true wealth is nothing more than the perception of abundance, usually linked to gratitude. And I don't care who you are, what your story is, what somebody did to you, who they did it with, there is always something that you can be grateful for. In fact, how about living in a time in human history where you get access to this kind of information without even leaving your front door? Gratitude is so important. Start a gratitude list. It will turn you into a nice beast. Habit number 10, pay yourself first. Now, this is something that very few people do, but if you really want to master financial success, it is a must. And it falls under a very little known law that says if you take 10% of what you earn at the time that you earn it, and you put that away into a separate account, you won't actually notice any difference in your lifestyle. Strange, but with what we spend on Starbucks or what we spend on instant gratification, you can more than cover that 10%. So if you take it away first, life tends to continue the way it is and you don't even notice. But what you're doing is you're starting to build a nest egg and allowing you to follow the #1 law of wealth, which says spend less than what you earn and invest the rest. Don't complicate it. Okay, bonus time. I said, how could you be a beast in bed? Well, I just want to address one thing for you here, guys, especially the guys. This is more for the men than the women. See, guys, when it comes to sex, when it comes to being in the bedroom, so many guys have the wrong mentality because emotional maturity in bed starts with one level of awareness, if you're a man, understanding that sex is not about your orgasm. Now, when you learn to grow out of that awareness, you can start to open up and make it more about what you can contribute, how you can make this person feel amazing, how you can add value to this person, and where 1 + 1 becomes 11, blow their mind rather than blow your... You get the idea. Guys, go out, be a beast. You have a life waiting for you. I love you, and I'll see you on another video soon. Hey, Peter here. Hope you enjoyed that video. But remember, knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. It's not about being passively entertained. It's about applying what you've learned in your life to make a difference. If you enjoyed that, please subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified, and leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you really want to make a difference, hit the share button and share this with somebody you care about. And let's see if we can make the world a little better place.